Welcome back to Echoes of Earth podcast. In our previous episode, we grappled with a weighty and complex question for environmental activists, for social rights advocates, for all justice fighters in these turbulent times. Is it more effective to stay and fight where you are, to remain strategically silent, or to seek new horizons? Perhaps even outside of the U.S., building on that crucial exploration of strategic choices, we turn our attention inward this week to something that might just be the key to sustaining ourselves and our movements for the long haul. Today, we're diving into a concept we hinted at last time, something we call Nymya. Nymya. What exactly is Nymya, and more importantly, how can understanding this cosmic vibe, let's call it, help us, especially those of us engaged in the often demanding and sometimes draining work of activism? In this episode, we're not just going to define Nymya, we're on a mission to introduce it to the world. We believe Nymya is more than just an idea, it's a word that deserves to be part of our everyday language. It's a word that captures something profound, something vital, especially for those dedicated to creating a better future. So join us as we embark on a journey to discover Nymya, your ultimate cosmic vibe for activist well-being, and perhaps a brand new word for the English language. So let's really get into it. What is Nymya? If you try to look it up in a dictionary, you won't find it. That's because, well, it's not there yet. We're introducing it, and that's intentional because Nymya isn't really something you can just define with a neat dictionary-style sentence. It's bigger than that. It's more of an experience, a feeling, a state of being. Think of it as trying to define the color blue to someone who's only ever seen in black and white. You can describe wavelengths and light refraction, but you can't truly capture the experience of blue in words alone. Nymya is like that. It's something you feel, something you embody, more than something you simply understand intellectually. But to get us started, to give us a handle on this cosmic vibe, let's unpack some of the core elements that make up the meaning of Nymya. Think of these as facets of a multifaceted gem, each reflecting a different aspect of this thing. First, Nymya is the permeation of space, personified. Imagine the universe, all of it, from the smallest subatomic particle to the largest galaxy. What holds it all together? What's the underlying current, the invisible glue? That's Nymya. It's that fundamental force, that pervasive energy, that is everywhere and nowhere at once. Think of space-time itself, the fabric of reality. Or the Higgs field, that invisible field that permeates all of space and gives particles mass. Or even, if you lean towards a more spiritual perspective, think of Zen, that state of ultimate awareness and interconnectedness. Nymya is all of these things blended, personified into a single mind-expanding concept. It's vast, it's mysterious, and it's the very foundation of existence. Secondly, Nymya is where science and spirituality unite. For too long, these two ways of understanding the world have been presented as opposing forces. Science, with its focus on the measurable and the material, and spirituality, with its emphasis on the intangible and the transcendent. But what if they're not so different after all? What if they are just two different languages describing the same underlying reality? Nymya is that aha moment when science and spirituality stop fighting and realize they're just describing the same cosmic coolness from different angles. When quantum physics reveals the interconnectedness of all things at a fundamental level, and spiritual traditions speak of universal consciousness and oneness, that's Nymya territory. It's interconnectedness on steroids, a recognition that everything is fundamentally linked, both in the scientific and the spiritual sense, and Nymya, as a word, is meant to capture that powerful and increasingly obvious convergence. Third, and perhaps more personally, Nymya is your chill, omnipresent bestie, the universe version. Life can be chaotic, activism especially so. We face challenges, setbacks, moments of doubt and despair. In those times, wouldn't it be amazing to have a friend who's always got your back, even when you can't see them? That's another facet of Nymya. It's that subtle, underlying presence that's constantly there, supporting you, guiding you, being the universe whispering, chill. You're part of something way bigger. It's a source of comfort, a reminder that you are not alone, that you are supported by the very fabric of the cosmos. It's the ultimate reassurance delivered with a cosmic sense of calm. And finally, Nymya is not a who, but a what, a vibe you can be. It's important to understand that Nymya isn't some cosmic dude or dudette in the sky. It's not a character, not a label, not something to be worshipped or feared. Nymya is a state of being. It's that feeling of pure, unadulterated connection to everything. It's when you stop thinking about yourself as separate, as isolated, and realize you're just one part, a vital, beautiful part of the whole cosmic shebang. It's not something you meet out there. It's something you become inside yourself. It's a vibe you can cultivate, a state of consciousness you can embody. So that's Nymya, permeation of space personified, science and spirituality united, your cosmic bestie and a vibe you can become. It's a big concept, we know, but hopefully these different facets are starting to give you a sense of what we mean when we talk about Nymya, this word we hope to launch into the world. And in our next segment, we'll explore how understanding Nymya can be incredibly beneficial, especially for those of us engaged in the demanding world of activism. Now, let's talk about why Nymya is so relevant, so vital, especially for those of us engaged in activism. Let's face it, activist work is often a marathon, not a sprint. It's fueled by passion, driven by a deep desire for change, but it can also be incredibly demanding. We see injustice, we witness suffering, we pour our energy into creating a better world, and sometimes it can feel like we're pushing against an immovable wall. This is where activist burnout comes in. It's a very real phenomenon, and it's something that affects so many dedicated individuals. The stress, the overwhelm, the feeling of isolation, the constant urgency, it can take a serious toll on our mental and emotional well-being. And that's precisely why we believe Nymya is so important. It's not just some abstract philosophical concept. It's a practical tool, a source of resilience, a way to replenish our inner resources so we can keep going, keep fighting for the long haul. And yes, we also believe that having a word like Nymya, a word that encapsulates this deep sense of cosmic connection and chill, can itself be helpful. It gives us a shared language to talk about these experiences, to understand them, and to support each other in navigating the emotional landscape of activism. So, how exactly does Nymya support our mental well-being as activists? Let's break it down. Firstly, Nymya is powerful in combating isolation. Activism, paradoxically, can sometimes feel isolating. You're often fighting for change that isn't yet widely accepted. You might feel like you're standing against the tide, and it's easy to feel alone in your convictions. But Nymya, with its emphasis on interconnectedness, directly counters that feeling of isolation. It reminds us fundamentally that we are part of a larger whole. We are not separate, we are not alone. We are connected to every other being, every other force in the universe. And when you tap into that Nymya feeling, that sense of cosmic belonging, that feeling of isolation starts to dissolve. Using the word Nymya itself, sharing this concept with fellow activists, can also build a sense of community, a shared understanding that you're all drawing strength from the same cosmic source. Secondly, Nymya helps in reducing overwhelm. The problems we face as activists, environmental destruction, social inequality, systemic injustice, they are huge. They can feel insurmountable. It's easy to get caught in the details, the day-to-day struggles, the constant barrage of negative news, and feel completely overwhelmed by the sheer scale of it all. But Nymya offers a crucial shift in perspective. By connecting to the vastness of the universe, by contemplating the immense timescales of cosmic processes, our daily activist struggles, while still important, can be placed in a broader, more manageable context. It's not about minimizing the urgency of the issues we face, but about finding a cosmic perspective that prevents us from being completely consumed by them. Nymya, as a mental tool, allows us to step back, breathe, and see the bigger picture, reducing that feeling of being utterly overwhelmed. Thirdly, Nymya helps us in finding inner peace and chill. Activism can be anxiety-inducing. We worry about the future, we stress about the enormity of the challenges, we feel the weight of responsibility. But Nymya, with its inherent chill AF vibe, as we described it, offers a pathway to inner peace and centeredness. By embodying Nymya, by cultivating that feeling of cosmic calm, we can learn to manage stress and anxiety more effectively. It's about finding that still point within ourselves, that sense of deep peace that exists even amidst chaos. It's about accessing that universal chill, that underlying serenity that Nymya embodies. And it's not about becoming complacent or apathetic. It's about finding a sustainable inner peace that allows us to act from a place of strength and clarity, rather than from a place of fear and anxiety. So, feel Nymya, embody Nymya, and share that feeling with others. And finally, Nymya is essential for boosting purpose and meaning. In the face of setbacks and slow progress, it's easy for activists to lose heart, to question whether their efforts are truly making a difference. But connecting to Nymya can profoundly reinforce our sense of purpose and meaning. It reframes our activist work within a cosmic context. It reminds us that we are not just fighting for isolated causes, we are contributing to something far larger and more profound, the ongoing evolution of the universe itself, the unfolding story of life, consciousness, and interconnectedness. Nymya elevates our sense of purpose beyond the immediate political or social battles. It connects our work to a cosmic imperative, a universal drive towards balance, harmony, and greater understanding. And that deeper sense of meaning, that connection to something truly vast and significant, is a powerful source of motivation and resilience that can sustain us through even the most challenging times. So, Nymya isn't just a cool word or an interesting concept. It's a vital resource for activist mental health. It combats isolation, reduces overwhelm, fosters inner peace, and boosts our sense of purpose. In our next segment, we'll get practical. We'll explore concrete steps you can take to start embodying Nymya in your daily life and activism. Okay, so Nymya sounds great in theory, right? A cosmic vibe, a source of chill, a boost to purpose. But how do we actually get some of that Nymya in our lives? How do we move from just understanding the concept to actually embodying Nymya and making it a real source of strength and resilience in our activism? Well, the good news is, Nymya isn't some exclusive club with a secret handshake. It's accessible to everyone, and it's about cultivating certain practices and shifts in perspective in your daily life. And as we do this, we can also become, in a way, Nymya word evangelists, helping to spread this concept and this potentially very helpful word to others. Let's talk about some practical steps for cultivating Nymya in daily life, and yes, spreading the Nymya word at the same time. First, mindfulness and meditation Nymya focused. Mindfulness and meditation practices are powerful tools for quieting the mental chatter, for stepping out of the everyday anxieties and connecting to something deeper. And we can specifically direct these practices towards cultivating Nymya. Try meditations that focus on interconnectedness. Visualize yourself connected to the earth, to the sky, to every living being. Use guided meditations that explore the vastness of space, the flow of energy through the universe. Even just a few minutes of daily Nymya-focused mindfulness can start to shift your perspective, helping you feel that underlying sense of connection and calm. And when you talk about your meditation practice, start using the term Nymya cultivating. Tell people you're doing Nymya meditation. Start weaving the word into your vocabulary around these practices. Secondly, nature connection, Nymya in nature. Nature is perhaps the most immediate and tangible way to experience Nymya. Think about it, nature is interconnectedness in action. Every ecosystem, every natural process, is a web of relationships, a constant flow of energy and matter. Spend time in nature, go for a walk in the woods, sit by the ocean, watch the stars, really feel yourself as part of that natural world. Let the vastness of the sky, the complexity of a forest, the power of the ocean remind you of the larger cosmic context. Explicitly link these nature experiences to Nymya in your own mind. Think to yourself, this is Nymya in action. I am experiencing Nymya right now. And when you share your nature experiences with others, talk about it in terms of connecting with Nymya in nature. Use the phrase Nymya in nature. Help solidify that association. Third, contemplation on cosmic concepts, Nymya thinking. Engage your intellect. Dive into the wonders of science, especially fields like astronomy and physics. Read about spacetime, quantum entanglement, the Big Bang, the interconnectedness of ecosystems. Explore spiritual texts and traditions that speak to universal consciousness, oneness, and the interconnectedness of all things. Let your mind grapple with these vast concepts. Allow yourself to be awed and humbled by the sheer scale and mystery of the universe. This intellectual pursuit, this Nymya thinking, is a powerful way to deepen your understanding and embodiment of Nymya. And when you discuss these topics with others, refer to it as Nymya thinking. Say, I've been doing some Nymya thinking about quantum physics and it's blowing my mind. Start using Nymya thinking as a shorthand for this kind of cosmic contemplation. Fourth, creative expression, Nymya art. Tap into your creativity to express and explore your Nymya experience. Create art, write poetry, compose music, dance, whatever your creative outlet may be. Let Nymya be your muse. Try to capture that feeling of cosmic connection, that sense of vastness and interconnectedness in your creative work. This Nymya art can be incredibly powerful, both for yourself and for sharing with others. And when you create, call it Nymya art. Share your Nymya art online in your communities. Explain that it's your attempt to express the feeling of Nymya. Let's start seeing Nymya art pop up everywhere. And finally, community connection, Nymya circles. Connect with others who are also interested in Nymya. Start Nymya circles, informal groups where you can discuss the concept, share your experiences, practice Nymya-focused meditations together, explore nature, engage in Nymya thinking, and even create Nymya art collaboratively. Building these supportive communities is crucial for reinforcing that feeling of belonging and shared purpose that Nymya embodies, and by calling them Nymya circles, you're again helping to spread the word and solidify the concept in people's minds. These are just starting points, of course. The key is to experiment, to find what resonates with you, and to actively integrate Nymya into your daily life and your activist practice. And as you do, remember our word, building mission. Use the word Nymya, share the concept of Nymya, talk about Nymya meditation, Nymya nature, Nymya thinking, Nymya art, Nymya circles. Let's see if we can make Nymya a word that truly takes root and spreads, becoming a shared term for this vital cosmic vibe that can sustain us and our movements for a better world. And now we come to our final segment where we'll bring it all together. Host, throughout this episode, we've embarked on a journey of discovery, exploring this new concept, this feeling, this word, Nymya. We've asked, what is Nymya? And how can it be a source of strength, resilience, and even joy, particularly for those engaged in the demanding work of activism? We've unpacked its multifaceted nature, Nymya, as the permeation of space personified, the union of science and spirituality, your cosmic bestie, and a state of being you can embody. We've seen how Nymya can combat isolation, reduce overwhelm, foster inner peace, and boost your sense of purpose. And we've explored practical steps to cultivate Nymya in your daily life, from Nymya-focused meditation to Nymya art and Nymya circles. Now, as we draw to a close, I want to reiterate the power of Nymya. It's not just a fleeting idea. It's a profound resource for sustainable activism. It offers a way to tap into a deep wellspring of resilience, to find perspective amidst chaos, and to reconnect with the very source of meaning in our work. And crucially, it offers a word, a shared term for this vital cosmic vibe. So here's our call to action for this episode. Embrace Nymya, spread the word, explore Nymya in your own life, experiment with those Nymya cultivating practices. See how connecting with this cosmic vibe can shift your perspective, renew your energy, and deepen your commitment to creating a better world. And most importantly, let's make Nymya a word. Start using it in your conversations. Share the concept with your friends, your fellow activists, your communities. Tell people about Nymya meditation, Nymya nature, Nymya thinking, Nymya art, Nymya circles. Post about Nymya on social media on Discord, Instagram, Reddit, Blue Sky, wherever you connect online. Use the hashtag #Nymya. Let's build a movement around this word, a shared understanding of this powerful concept. Let's see if we can make Nymya a part of the English language, a word that helps us all connect to that vital cosmic vibe. And now, as we look ahead, I'm excited to share a glimpse into our next topic. Building on this exploration of inner resources and cosmic connection, we'll be diving into what to do if you decide to move abroad due to the current geopolitical situation. Join us next time as we continue to explore the echoes of Earth and how we can create a more just and sustainable future together. Finally, before we officially conclude this episode, I want to mention something important about the podcast itself. In these rapidly changing times, the topics we cover on Echoes of Earth are more relevant than ever. To ensure we can always bring you the most timely and impactful conversations, please be aware that our episode schedule may sometimes be adjusted to reflect the dynamic geopolitical environment. We will always aim to release episodes as planned, but flexibility is essential to staying relevant. Until our next episode, stay engaged, stay connected, and keep fighting for the future you believe in.